Welcome to the Hopemongers podcast. I am your host, Appiah Anda, a licensed therapist and the author of Reflections of a Hopemonger. Hope is our theme, and helping you align yourself to your life's purpose is our goal. After listening, you will be educated, inspired, and elevated to unlock your own greatness. So please subscribe to this podcast, share it, and give us a good rating. Now, let's get started. Hello, and welcome to Hopemongers. You know, Toba Beta said this: the visionary builds what the dreamers imagined. And Isaac Newton said, if I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. And so today I feel incredibly privileged to be joined by a true visionary. You know, somebody once asked me, so but do you tend to, interview your friends on the Hopemongers podcast? Yeah, I do, if you have the kind of friends I have and the sisters I have. And so I'm incredibly excited to have my friend, my sister, my mentor, the amazing Marjy Marj, formerly known as Marjorie Boafo Appiah. Marjy Marj is a visionary, and you'll see as we go through the show just what I mean by that. She's a visionary, she's a management consultant, an author, and a speaker. So listen to some more about my sister. Marjy is the founder of Innovation Abound, a company that gives creative ideas the opportunity and resources to flourish. Marjy is an advocate for humanity, a sought-after speaker who keeps the crowd entertained and engaged at all times. You will see this too. Marjy is a community leader and the chairman of the Hub City Writers Project Board of Directors. She's also a trustee at the Charles Lea Center Foundation, the Spartanburg Regional Foundation, and the Spartanburg Day School, where she's the current co-chair of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. My sister has worked with American Red Cross, Women Giving for Spartanburg, National Kidney Foundation. My goodness, I don't know how she finds the energy to do what she does in the day, but I'm not even done yet. She's a founder of the organization called Girls for STEAM. She's a literary advocate, and she believes in the importance of representation in literature. In 2015, she partnered with her family and friends to launch the Giving Book Day program, where she collaborates with schools, bookstores, and publishing houses to distribute books to school-age children. Giving Book Day has enlarged its footprint by partnering with Project Lit in Ghana and Ghanaian schools, where they are gifting books to authors of African descent to children and young adults in Ghana, and it's ongoing. Other partners with this initiative include Barnes & Noble, the Hub City Bookshop, Leadership Spartanburg, and benefactors from the Clear List Project. And she's not even done. Oh, Marjy is an author several times over. The author of The Shimmigrants, the author of Same Elephants, the author of Sasha Goes to America. And another book is coming out as we record, on the day we are recording. It's coming out next week, correct? Sasha Perseveres in America. And they're not just small books, though. The Shimmigrants debuted at #1 new release in 2019. Same Elephants debuts as a top 10 release in March 2020. Sasha Goes to America released at #1 on Amazon. And the second book, Sasha Perseveres in America, will be available next week. And I have no doubt it will debut at #1. In addition to that, for anybody listening, if you haven't ever heard of Marjy, her talk show, she's the host of Humanities Chats, a show about everyday issues impacting humans. And let me tell you, that show is making a difference. All right, so welcome, my sister, my friend, my sweetheart. Welcome. I'm so excited. Finally, I get you on Hopemongers.
This is such an honor. Oh my goodness, when you were reading about that girl, I was like, hey, who is that? Okay, thank you so much for this wonderful introduction, Abba. The feeling is mutual. I have a lot of respect for you. You are just amazing. You're a trailblazer. You're an encourager. You're an uplifter. And I am so honored to call you a friend, a sister, a sister author, and everything in between. Yes, thank you so much.
Amen. 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 So this girl I was reading about, where did she start from? Tell me about her. Did she just merge from thin air or did she start from somewhere? Tell us.
Well, this girl has had quite the journey. She is originally from the mountains, the Ethiopian mountains, Mpacho to
Hey,
you.
hey, see
Yes,
you.
yes, yes. And she grew up in Dansuman, a DC girl for real. Went to elementary and middle school, as we call it here in America, at Martin de Porres, Mad Pops, Mad Pops. Yes. And then she attended Debris Girls. People so high up on the Ibri Mountains. I had a lovely time there. Was blessed with a sisterhood, and I did my undergrad at University of Ghana, Legon, and then I relocated to the United States, and it's been quite the journey here as well. I've moved around a few states, and now I am in South Carolina. I am happy to call Spartanburg, South Carolina, home.
And just making a difference, not just in South Carolina, but the borders continues to expand your influence. Let me just tell you how proud I am. If I'm sounding like a lovesick big sister, that's exactly what I am. I am so proud of you. Today, I want to focus on the visionary parts because I know it's such a big part of who you are. So, first of all, tell me, what does the word visionary mean to you? How do you define visionary?
Well, I'm a very basic girl. And so for me, just like the title of my book, She Immigrant is She Immigrant, visionary
Mm-hmm.
is looking at the vision right there in the future. And so for someone who is a visionary, is somebody who hopes, aspires to have a better future for themselves and for the rest of the people around them.
Wow. So as a hope monger, it's the definitions are so aligned, right? Having a vision for the future with hope and aspire for a better future. Awesome. Were you born a visionary or did you develop it or both?
There's this thing that says nature and nurture. I think that my current state is a result of nature and nurture. Things didn't happen overnight. Yes, I was born great, fabulous, black girl magic. Um, but along the way, I met people that mentored me. I learned lessons. I picked a little bit from here and there. There were role models, people that I looked up to, great advice. Staying in line with the word of God and with everything that happened in my life, I believe that it molded me into who I am today.
Wonderful. Let's break it down though, because you are going through amazing things really fast. So let's go back to mommy and daddy. Tell me how they nurtured you. They definitely gave birth to you with some great genes, some great visionary genes, but how did they nurture it in you?
Well, the strict Presbyterian bastard training, I believe, was part of it. When I was young, I was going to Sunday school, I was going to Bible studies, good news. And they put me in a great school, Martin de Porres, where I developed leadership skills. I was a girls prefect. So it was nurtured through my studies, through my Christian upbringing, going to revival upon revival, praying every day. We used to have morning devotions, right? And sometimes I would be fast asleep and mama would just wake me up and I'll go sit there and we will finish praying and I'll still be kneeling down like I'm praying because I would have fallen asleep. So so that so that nurturing started way back. I'm so grateful for the foundation that they gave me.
Right. So okay. So then my next question is this. Not everybody who went to lots of revivals and was a prefect is a visionary. When did you realize that you had something special, this way of just connecting the dots with situations and people and just looking into the future? When did you notice it?
Well, thank you for telling me I have something special. For me, I always just do my best, my utmost best. And so since I was a child, I looked up to my parents.
Mm-hmm.
and especially my dad. I admired him. I just thought the man was super brilliant, and I wanted to be like him.
Mm.
And so I was going to bring home the good grades whenever it was possible. Mind you, it wasn't possible for some of the chemistry and physics. No, not even general science. That was tough. But
Mm-hmm.
I just put my best foot forward. I tried my best. And then along the way, I saw other people that I aspired to be like, or just to take pieces. There's no one particular person that I want to be. I want to be me, my authentic, true self. But then I take pieces, bits and pieces from people that I admire. Sometimes I'm not able to hold on to it. For example, I see you as this great lady, well measured, with all the good manners. And sometimes I stand in the mirror and try to practice the ABBA spiel, but it doesn't always work for me because I'm so hyper. So I pick bits and pieces here and there, and that's what you see. Yes, trying to be the authentic me.
So I think that's important, just really trying to be authentic. What did you want to be when you grew up? When you were before you reached adulthood, what did you want to be? I want you
Oh,
to say the thing you told me personally.
well, there's so many things I wanted to be, and this weekend, I've been rereading Michelle Obama's book, Becoming. I listened to a show, uh, to my younger self by Zoe Baraka, which featured you, and you did talk about becoming. And
Yes,
so, yes, I guess my life has evolved as I am becoming. Just like
indeed.
Michelle used to play with her Barbies and give them characters and had them do things and mix it up with her brother's toys. And so when I was young, I had a vivid imagination. I thought that I
Mm,
had investigative skills, and so maybe I could be CIA. And, I thought, ooh, I'll go live somewhere. Nobody would know who I am. And I will pretend to be someone and I'll solve the mysteries. Um,
mm,
Yes, and then also, and this one is, everybody's gonna hear it because we're live. But I also wanted a really big family, and when I watched the mafia movies, I thought,
eh.
oh, it'd be nice to have a big family, have everybody hug and kiss on each other, and so maybe I could be mafia. Oh God, forgive me, but I
But no,
like
no, no,
that.
no. Let's clarify that it wasn't that you wanted a life of crime, but what you
Yeah.
appreciated, the bits of was the loyalty, the family bonds, and just how they stick together. So that's awesome.
Exactly, exactly. For me, community means everything because
That's it.
I think that together we are stronger.
Mm-hmm. So I'm hearing having a very imaginative mind, and I'm hearing a love for community. And those two building blocks, I see the themes just in so much of what you do with humanity chats, with all the projects you are involved in, bringing the community together. I mean, you've put Spartanburg on the map, for real, as certainly as far as our Ghanaian community goes. I didn't know anything about Spartanburg till I met you. Now, every time I see anything about it, I'm all interested reading about it. But even so, even beyond that, just what you're doing in Ghana, and of course, supporting other sister authors and brother authors, and so much of what you do, it's really so amazing. So keep building, continue to build. I think, I think beyond the influence is getting you, I think you'll find that as your journey progresses, you'll really realize that you're making such an impact in the world. So, yeah, yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for your kind words. I'll keep pushing. That's all we can do. Keep
Girl, keep
pushing, keep
pushing.
striving. Yes, yes.
Indeed, indeed. This season of Hope Mongers, I'm really. On purpose,
Mhm.
So I know you're a visionary. I know you are full of energy. I know you're able to connect the dots and use what you are doing to also do some good in the world. I know you've raised an amazing son. Please, actually, before we even move further, talk about your son and talk about the man we call boss, because we have to give them props too.
Oh my goodness. Well, I guess I'll start from the little one. My son, I call him Daraba. He's nothing like a he's nothing like a dad, but the guy is hardcore, hard labor. Oh my goodness, that boy hustles so much work on his plate. He's amazing. He's I was gonna say a rising senior, and then I realized that well, school starts next week, and so he is a senior.
It
Um,
is.
Thinking about the fact that he's going to be going to college next year gives me shivers. I'm like, ooh, who's gonna do my groceries? Um,
Oh,
yes, and so
get it delivered. Get it delivered.
yes, yes, yes. That's a great idea. Try some ship it or, yes, yes, that's a great idea. So, yes, I have this amazing 17-year-old who likes to write. He actually has 3 books and he also likes to be part of his community. He started a project when he was a seventh grader.
Mm.
Um, through sports. He called it Ball for Good, and it has done amazing things thanks to his teacher, his village mentors, advisors, his friends, all the volunteers. It's actually put him on the national stage. He's received a national award. Quite a few national awards, an
Quite a
international
few.
award. Yes, and
Mm,
so he is the star at our house. Because it's like, oh wow, that about I saw you on TV. Hey, who was swag? That kind of thing. Yes, yes. And then boss is like my landlord that I live with.
that's
I
right.
like
That's right.
yeah, and I also like to call my landlord my roommate. He's a phenomenal guy, even keeled, just like you. Super brilliant guy. I mean, he has this scientific brain, but at the same time, he can talk jazz, he can talk sports, he can tell you
Mm,
how much the NBA players are making or who got the 3-pointer. I'm like, when does this guy sleep? How does he know all these things?
right.
He also has a heart for service. He serves his community. He's on the board for the Mary Black Foundation that does a lot of great work for the community. He participates in community clinics to make sure that people get some free healthcare. And one thing about him that gets on my nerves, he went to Prempeh College and he just would not he would not shut up about it, and everything good is like Prempeh. Even during the Olympics, the guys who ran the 4x100, I think there was a Prempeh guy. Oh my goodness, this guy took his chair and went to sit right in front of the TV, and then he got up and then he was pointing. It was like a kid. And I was just
Hey,
thinking,
if your school nobody ran the Olympics, why are you saying about somebody else's?
it's like he knew the people that were running. Oh my God, everything had to be quiet because Ghana was about to run, and then I was like, I don't even think we're going to qualify. He was like, "Shit, what do you say?" And
That's right.
surprisingly, Ghana qualified. So
You see,
that's yes, yes, yes. So that's my family in a nutshell.
you've been blessed with just awesome, three very distinct individuals, but I see that you work well together, right? Let me ask you another question because I know that a lot of my listeners are also mothers. What did you see in your son, and what strategy did you take in raising him to be able to get such a high functioning kid?
Well, we talked about nature versus nurture earlier. I
Mm,
think he has a lot of nature in him. He's built a lot like his dad. And then there are parts of him that are me too. I don't know
mm,
how, I cannot tell you the percentage though, because he's more laid back like his dad. But then there are a few times that he goes up and I'm like, ooh, that's Marjy Marj right there.
that's
Um,
right, right.
yes. So we just did our best, brought him up the best way we know how.
Mhm.
Um, in church with the Bible, prayerfully, um, and whatever we saw as his talents as he was growing up, we nurtured it. He liked to write. He wrote a lot. And so we enrolled him in a writing um, class with Johns Hopkins Center for Talented Youth when he was in second grade. Someone may think that was young, but he had this imagination. And so we
Mm,
wanted to nurture it. He struggled. He struggled with math. He's a bit slow. He can't work as fast as some other kids. And so we put him in Kumon. to try to get him to be a little bit faster. So
Mm,
wherever he fell short, we tried to supplement, and wherever he was doing well, we supported him. To tell you the truth, with his project Ball for Good,
mm.
when he decided to do the project, I was like, my African self, I was like, instead of you to do something that like teach computers or coding, you want to go and do something with ball. Why?
Right, right,
That's what
right.
I said. But then I realized that he really had a passion for it. And so dad and I both supported him. His dad has played in the games. I mean, he had to buy new basketball shoes. And I think he made one shot, but you would have thought that he was the MVP. I mean, the guy was feeling himself. So we
That's right.
yeah, so we just try to nurture each other. Everybody has different skill sets in our house.
Mm, mm,
Everybody
mm.
is some are quiet, some are organized, some are messy and loud, but we try to complement we try to
Complement each
complement
other,
each other. Yes.
indeed,
Mhm.
and boost each other's strengths up. And that's what I see in your family. And I think that, one thing I'm picking from what you're saying about Adum, your son, is number one, you paid attention to him and knew his strengths and also discovered where perhaps he was struggling. And like you said, for the strengths, you nurtured that imaginative mind that he was blessed with naturally. For where he struggled, you made sure he had the support he needed to still do well. Even though he came up with this idea for Ball for Good, it wasn't your initial, I guess, what would have been your initial choice, but you still took his conviction and said, you know what, let's support him to go with it. I think that I suspect that your mommy and dad did the same thing for you, you know, and you are doing it for Adum as well. And I think that is certainly a formula to greatness, is what I'm seeing. Yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you. But just as this world, nobody is perfect. He has his struggles, so do I, and so does dad. But prayerfully, we try to work through it. There are days that are harder than others, but we keep being optimistic that the Lord will show up for us.
Absolutely, absolutely. What is your and I know you've said this before in another interview. Tell me, there's a verse you said every time you have something big coming up in your life, the Lord kind of brings it to your remembrance. What verse is
Yeah,
that?
it's Isaiah 41:10. Fear not, I am with you. Be not dismayed, I am your God. And so I live my
Wow.
life knowing that I should fear not. There are times that I slack a little bit because, like, being in an elevator and having elevator fright, I guess I forget about fear not. But when it's the big
Mm,
things, and when the big things are coming up, I remind myself that He is with me, and He's been with me. He will be with me. Yes.
So you are the fearless visionary, is what you are.
Oh my
Um,
goodness,
that's it. That's it.
that's a big title.
Yes. Margie, what is your vision for the future? What's next? If, let's fast forward to 50 years from now, right? You are 100 years old and you've lived an amazing life and it's the end. Tell me, what would you have accomplished? What will you
Oh.
take pride in? What's your vision for the future?
My vision is one where thrive. I would want
Mm,
to thrive. I would want my baby boy to thrive. I would want my husband to have thrived. I would want my fellow sisters and brothers to thrive. And my grandkids and great grandkids, 50 years from now, probably will have great grandkids. I would like to see them all thriving as well. And I may not be able to run up and down that soccer field when I am 100 years old, but I will be cheering in my bones. I will be cheering.
So just like you're saying, a cheerleader, right? For most humans, I think it's what you have on your Instagram bio, right? You are a
Yes, yes,
cheerleader.
my vision is for myself to thrive. I don't know where I'm going to be tomorrow, but with everything that I do, I give it my utmost best. And of course, I do set goals. I do set small goals that incrementally build up. But my vision, ultimate vision, is to thrive.
Wow. So there's a vision to thrive, there's a decision, a plan to be good and to do well and to enjoy life, right? Which I think goes into the meaning of thrive. And within that, you set incremental small goals.
Yes, I
Awesome.
do. I do. I set small goals and we work on it. Even as a family, we do a family circle where we
Mm,
set goals. And sometimes the goals are as simple as I want to be happy. That usually comes from my husband, or I want to rest. Could be a goal that one of us would have. Of course, like
mm.
I say, Marjy Marj, my goals are never just resting. No, yeah, 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 be putting big things on that board. But it does help us. It does guide us. Let me share this story with you. My son went to the National Spelling Bee when he was, I think, 13 years old. Well,
Mm-hmm.
the Christmas before he qualified um, to go to the bee, even before he took his school bee, my husband and I decided to take him to Washington, D.C. And we took him to the hotel where they have the bee. And we took him to the room where the spellers went on stage and said, honey, you see that, that's going to be you. You're coming here in May and you are going to be on that national stage. And we went back home. He studied like crazy, won his Scoopy, kept moving on, and went to represent South Carolina. So you always have to have a vision. It may not come to pass because there are times that we plan and we work hard, but if it's not God's will, it will not happen. But you do your utmost best to make that vision come true.
Absolutely, the power of visualization. You remind me of, I think the guy was a British swimmer. This in this past Olympics, is his name Tim Daly? Don't quote me on that, but I think this was like his third or fourth Olympics, and he'd never won a medal. And this time he won a gold. And I remember hearing a snippet. They said, "How did you do it?" And one of the things he said, like up front, was, "I visualize myself every day on the podium." So it's powerful, powerful exercise. So awesome. Awesome. I love that. Um, so what's next for you next week though? Because I mentioned at the beginning that my sister is currently the author of what? Three books. The Shimmigrant, Same Elephants, and then this one that I have, Sasha Goes to America. Can you see it? Sasha Goes to
Mhm.
America, right? But
Yes,
Sasha Goes to America has another sister coming out. Tell us about that.
yes, I know. I'm in love. Absolutely in love with Sasha, the whole Sasha series. Her sister. That sounds so weird, right? Her sister is coming out next Tuesday, new release day. Sasha Perseveres in America. For everybody who is watching us, please go on, pick a copy, go on Amazon, pre-order, or
Absolutely.
if you would like the paperback, then go back, get the paperback as soon as it drops on August 17th. And it's not just about getting the book, leave a review. It is an amazing book. If you look at Sasha Goes to America, it has raving reviews from everywhere. It has global reviews from India, UK, Canada. It has reviews from America. If you go on Goodreads, it has reviews from Ghana, everywhere. And so
Wow.
Sasha Perseveres in America is the sequel to Sasha Goes to America. And it's about, just like the title says, it's about Sasha's perseverance. And so I think it'd be a great book for kids. An author of a great book, Border Child. Her name is Michelle Stone. She gave an editorial review for Sasha Goes to America when it came out. And she said that I probably found I'm not quoting her, but I'm just summarizing. She said I had found my niche in writing for children. And so I'm hoping that Michelle was right and that people love Sasha Perseveres in America.
Honestly, I think she is right. I mean, Sasha, Goes to America itself was just so emotive. And I know you and I have had conversations just talking about Sasha. It felt like she took on a life of her own. She was this child we all love, right? So yes, you know what? And I think actually I found it appealed to me as an adult. And it's something, especially being a Ghanaian and a Ghanaian sister author, wrote this book. I just think adults should have it as a souvenir. Adults should buy it for their little nieces and nephews. So it's Sasha Goes to America, and then next week it's Sasha Perseveres in America, right?
Yes, Sasha Perseveres in America. It's a book that, it highlights so many things. For me, as you were reading my bio, listeners, viewers, representation matters. It's important for us to see ourselves represented in all spheres of life. And as Sasha is growing up, she feels different. People may treat her differently depending on where she is. Throughout the book, you see representation, you see people from all
Mm,
walks of life. And it's so
mm,
important to me. Social issues, if you listen to my show, Humanity Chats, social
mm.
issues are an important fabric of our life. And so there are underlying topics in there like bullying, isolation, so it's so important to have kids see themselves, read this, get a better understanding of some of the situations that even kids may not understand themselves. And I also believe that no matter where you're from, whether you're from Asia, Africa, South America, North America, wherever you are from, there is something in Sasha Perseveres in America for you.
Wow. I really I can't wait to get my hands on it. I personally cannot wait to get my hands on it. I have my two nieces. They're expecting it. So I've pre-ordered the ebook, and I can't wait for the hard copy to come out next week. Sis, before you go, you know, again, I'm on this visionary thing. I don't know why. I guess somebody needs to hear about being a visionary. But before you go, what I see is that being a visionary requires courage. Courage doesn't mean there's not fear, but it means you'll push through with your faith, with your perseverance. Two qualities I see in you. Before we go, can you say something? Just speak to perhaps listeners who may also have a dream, and perhaps they don't know if they should nurture it, if it will work, should they go for it. So can you just, as we end, can you encourage somebody listening?
Well, dear listeners, viewers, it is important to have hope in life. Without hope, we're nothing because sometimes things may look bleak. And even when things are going well, it could just turn around on you. So don't ever give up hope and always trust. Trust that there is a power above that has your needs at heart. Um,
Mm,
if you're listening or watching, you may be of the Christian faith, you may be of a different faith, but to know that there is a higher power that cares about you. Never give up on your dreams. And if you have this urge to do something, now is the time to start. You know what? You cannot go without taking the first step. So take that first
mm,
step today
mm,
and be
mm.
hopeful. There are times that you may fail, but maybe that was not supposed to be your journey. I have failed at so many things, but guess what? It wasn't supposed to be. It wasn't supposed to happen. So what you have to do is to keep pushing. And when plan A fails, go to B. If B fails,
Mm.
there is so many more letters in the alphabet. And just like the hurricane naming system, you go down to Z. Hey, we're going to
That's
start
right.
right back up. And so don't
Exactly.
ever give up. Have hope, have faith, and keep pushing to thrive.
Amen. And if you want to read about somebody who perseveres, like she's saying, buy the book Sasha Perseveres in America, out on August 17th on Amazon.
Yes, yes, it's everywhere books are sold. Also, check with your local
Mm,
bookstore. In
awesome.
Ghana, check with Boutique Ghana, check with Book Nook. And as you know, Abba, it will be on Target, Walmart. It'll be on all those websites. So anywhere you like to buy your books, buy it from there. And Sasha Perseveres in America is a story of hope. I am so honored to have been on Hopemongers because that is a story of hope. We are selling hope to you all.
Yes, we are. My sister author, my friend, Marjy Marj, visionary, management consultant, author, speaker, and hope monger. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. We really appreciate it. And I can't wait to hear good news about Sasha Perseveres in America being at number one. next week, August 17th. Love you.
Love you too. Thank you so much for this honor, and bye to everyone.
Bye now.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Hopemongers podcast with Appiah Anda. We'd like to continue to bring you amazing episodes, so please subscribe to the show. And if you enjoyed what you just heard, please give us a good rating. You can also follow us on social media at Appiah Anda. My best-selling book, Reflections of a Hopemonger, which inspired this podcast, is available now on Amazon. Thanks for listening. See you next time, and be a hopemonger.